Hey there, this is beautiful Lake Monticello in central Virginia. You may have seen my last Lake Monticello pros and cons video from last year. Well, today I am bringing you the 2025 version, updated with what's new, what's changed, and what you absolutely need to know if you're thinking about living here. Come on, let's go. Lake Monticello is a gated community it has about just over 4,000, like 4,200 homes here, 10,000 residents. It wraps around a beautiful spring-fed lake, 352-acre lake actually, and honestly, it's just 30 minutes southeast of Charlottesville, Virginia. People are drawn here for the slower pace, lakeside lifestyle, and guess what? Affordability, especially in comparison to the Charlottesville city or say Albemarle County. And if you're just starting your research about living in Charlottesville, I am so excited to share this with you. I have created something brand new, been working on it for quite a while, and it is yours absolutely free. It is a free Charlottesville location guide. Whether you're buying, selling, retiring, or relocating, it's packed with real, honest insights, helpful stuff to make your move easier. And guess what? Lake Monticello information is included too. So stay close. I'm going to share that QR code in a minute with you. All right. So first and foremost, let's talk about the pros. So let's dive into the good stuff first, because there's honestly quite a bit of it. Number one is going to be this lakeside lifestyle. If this is something that you've dreamed of, boating, fishing, swimming, living here feels like you're on a permanent vacation more days than not. We have a marina here, kayak storage, permanent umbrellas on many of the beaches, and more. Second up, community and safety. People actually wave to each other. They watch out for each other's homes, and Lake Monticello has its own security. That's gated peace of mind if that is something that you won't get everywhere, especially in Charlottesville or around the Charlottesville area. We honestly only have a handful of gated communities. So if that is important to you, you should definitely keep Lake Monticello on your top list. Next up, well, what's another pro? Recreation and amenities. From a community, fairly new swimming pool to tennis courts, tot lots, play areas, basketball courts, golf, yes, a full 18-horse golf course, and even a few, 5 beaches surround this community. It's all here, and it's predominantly, mostly all included in your HOA. Another pro for Lake Monticello is actually the proximity to Charlottesville. Now, this is probably the number one question I get, but if you are going to be, say, working at UVA, or you need access to one of the many specialists, or you are a Whole Foods addict or a Target queen, then maybe you need to hit the new Home Depot. You're an easy drive away. Realistically, I want you to think total, probably 30 to 40 minutes door to door. It really depends on where exactly you're going. Lake Monticello to Pantops, well, that's like 15 minutes. But then you got to get into town. So that's going to give you the rest of your drive. Going up to Target, you're limited in the ways you can go. You're probably looking at about closer to 40 minutes. UVA, you're probably safe at about 30 minutes. So the big one, the big pro, honestly, for Lake Monticello, it's going to be hands down the affordability compared to Charlottesville and Albemarle County. We are talking, it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars lower than a comparable home in a Charlottesville neighborhood or a new construction neighborhood in Albemarle. Now it's not going to be new construction out here, and this is just a vastly different community. So I'm not trying to say this is apples to apples, oranges to oranges, because this is not like downtown Charlottesville. This is not North Point in Albemarle County. This is not Fifeville in downtown Charlottesville. Again, in general, if we see a lot of affordability, and that's a word that's used quite often with the Lake Monticello area, you can find homes here still in the upper $200,000 range. Now, in general, those are going to probably need love. They probably need to be updated, and you're going to have to go into it knowing that. But in that $300,000 to $600,000 range, you could actually potentially even see waterfront or water view. I would say more likely water view. But honestly, you can find a turn frickin' key, beautifully updated waterfront home here. I've seen them as low as the $800,000. Now, currently, there is actually a beautiful, stunning waterfront property, absolutely turnkey with a dock and everything else. It's listed at $1.2 million. Now, that is not everybody's wheelhouse. That is not everybody's payroll. That's not everybody's comfort zone. But houses going from the upper, actually you can, on very rare occasion, very rare, but this is why you need to reach out to me. You can find homes in the mid 200,000 going up to and just over $1 million in one community. That tells you what kind of diversity is out here. And on that note, this is an extremely diverse community. I have friends out here and have helped people move here that are everything from their second homes, like that next level home, to many first-time home buyers. I have seen people from, quite honestly, that work at the university, professors move here. I have seen folks move here who are, it's very, very diverse, very, very welcoming overall. Now, there's always going to be a Karen, or what's the boy version of a Karen? I don't know. But there's always going to be somebody, because it's a large neighborhood. But in general, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your income, what your house size, what your skin color, what your socioeconomic background, who you love. It honestly, this is one of the neighborhoods that you're going to see soup to nuts across the board, everybody living in and loving. And just a quick reminder, if you're starting your search in the Charlottesville area, my free Charlottesville relocation guide is ready for you. It's full of insider information about the entire region, not just Lake Monticello, but definitely includes Lake Monticello. No sales pitch, no spam, just something I honestly made to help you feel confident in your search. And honestly, I wish I had it as a resource for years. It's sort of like being in my brain, but without all the scary parts. So the first con I'm actually going to talk about, well, that sort of comes with the beast, and that is rising HOA fees. They've crept up again this year. Now they're running somewhere around $1,460 for the year annually. Now, don't forget, there is also going to be a $800 transfer fee paid by the buyer at closing. That's to make sure your name is in the computer and that you're receiving your HOA bills. It is what it is. It's overall, again, for us in this area, this is a lot of amenities to be included for $14.60 a year annually. Now, it's not outrageous, but it's something that you need to factor in with your monthly budget, especially if you're getting a loan. It will be factored in by the bank or whoever your lending professional is. Now, the other thing I want to mention is actually for a con, and it is for me. When I lived out here, this was my major con, but I will say there's been a lot of improvement, and that is a lack of major retail. If you want Target, Costco, you're going to be heading into Charlottesville. Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. Well, Walmart and Lowe's, you could either head out to Zines Crossroads or you could head into Charlottesville. Either way, but still, you're going to be driving somewhere to go to Walmart and to Lowe's. Home Depot, as I mentioned, we're very excited here. See, it doesn't take a lot to excite us. Our first Home Depot in our entire area, like from Zines Crossroads all the way to Augusta. Waynesboro was our closest Home Depot. We're getting a Home Depot right in northern Albemarle County, and it opens up at the end of this month, which this month is August. So to give you an idea, yeah, we're excited. Again, little things. Now here's the next thing I want to talk about for cons. Schools. Most families are absolutely happy and thrilled. Others, not so much. It really depends on what you're looking for, and it depends on what your expectations are. You have to remember, check out your favorite site for school information and feedback. Fluvanna is not a large county, so pretty much they have very limited feeds, meaning there's going to be one high school. There's going to be just a couple of elementary schools. There's not going to be any kind of pick and choose unless you go with private schools. Then, well, private schools are mostly going to be located and much closer in and around the Charlottesville area. On that note, let's talk about the car dependency, because that is a huge one as well. This area is very much car dependent. If you're used to walking for coffee, walking to coffee, or taking the public transportation, this is not that kind of area. A car is, or a boat, right? Car or boat, I guess. A car is essential here. Also, public transportation is on the side of scarce to non-existent in this neck of the woods. The final thing I want to talk about for cons is actually going to be the amenities. Yes, I know I said the amenities are also on the pro, because I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. But I want to point out that not all of the amenities are always free. Some things, such as the pool, golf, obviously the restaurant that's on site, those are going to be separate passes or memberships beyond your HOA fees, your HOA dues. So do keep that in mind. I do still think it's a good value, but it does not include everything. But you know what? That works out, because I don't play golf. Well, I don't play golf well. I would not want a golf membership included, but I would pay for this beautiful pool in a heartbeat, because I think it's gorgeous, and I think it's well laid out, and I think it's a good value. So there you go. So next up, definitely want to mention it again. Water is still considered an issue here. Now, not an issue as in lack of or quality, but the water is still an issue. There are rising costs, not as many line breaks, but expense is to be noted. What does that look like? Because that's a big question I often get asked. On average, see, that's going to be the point. On average, if you are 2 adults in the household, you're going to want to average about $100 a month. If you're into more water consuming activities such as gardening, washing your car a lot, well, then you better go ahead and expect to be in that $125 to $150 range. Okay, so let's talk about what's new this year. If you've been one of my fabulous viewers for the past year, 18 months, whatever it is, that's probably what you're wondering. What's new? First off, yes, HOA dues have ticked up. Also, there's a lot more discussion about long-term road maintenance funding, and also a Department of Justice, we'll just call it, issue. But those are the kind of things I think you need to know about, for the simple fact, if you're buying in this community, you want to know the full scoop. You don't just want to know what the good is, but you need to know what all the information is. Now, the great news is home inventory, well, it's just as tight as ever. Demand for out here is staying strong, especially from retirees and remote workers. But currently, I got to tell you, before I pulled in here today, there are 30 active listings. That, compared to say a year ago or 2 years ago, is huge. So it's still tight. In the scheme of things over the past couple of years, it has actually blossomed and bloomed. Also, a few new community events have popped up, and some have actually gone away. They used to do a huge 4th of July fireworks, and I don't know. I'm not in the HOA discussion. But that did not happen this year, and I know there was a lot of disappointment for that. But a lot of new community events have popped up. There have been family nights, outdoor concerts, and honestly, even seasonal markets. Also, this has been really interesting. A number of folks from Northern Virginia are now buying second homes here, or even relocating here full-time permanently. Because again, you do have lots of internet options, including high-speed fiber. So all of those are really, really great news for 2025. God, it's so pretty here. Between the crepe myrtles and the water, whoo, child, no wonder everybody's coming to Lake Monticello. All right, we are wrapping up the 2025 pros and cons for Lake Monticello. Here's what I want you to know. Lake Monticello is going to be ideal if you want peace and quiet. That doesn't include the cicadas you hear talking to us. You want an active community. It is an active HOA. Be aware of that. You love views of nature. You love nature access, because there are trails throughout Lake Monticello as well. You have a family. You're retired. You're semi-retired. Or you work remotely, or you don't mind a little bit longer of a commute. Now, on that aspect, let me remind you, the average commute for Charlottesville is 15 minutes or less. That's why I say extended. Because if you're coming from Lake Monticello and you work at UVA, you work out at Rivanna Station, our baby base, military base, then those are going to be much farther than 15 minutes. So just keeping that in mind. But some people love that. Some people come to me and they're like, as long as I'm under an hour commute, and I'm like, an hour commute would put you to Richmond. So yeah, we can make that happen. Also, if you like space, trees, and a real neighborhood feel, Lake Monticello should stay high on your list. Now, it is less ideal if you need walkability, if you're looking for very particular schools, or if you dislike an active HOA. And that's fine. Everybody has their right and their reasons. Again, this is your money, your decision, your next adventure. No judgment here. So here are my tips for you to take away today. I want you to check all available resources. Things such as Reddit, Nextdoor, Facebook groups, or places that you can get some information that is full circle, full picture of the pros and cons. Ask about potential assessments, not to frighten you, but a surprise assessment after buying a home is not going to be a very welcome surprise. If you're buying on the water and you want a dock, remember that that falls under the architectural review. No additional fees, but check the dock rules and regarding shoreline maintenance. And look at more than Zillow. Get a real sense of the neighborhood. Now, it is a gated community, so they won't let you just drive through on a Sunday afternoon. But that's why you got to reach out to me. Let's chat and see if Lake Monticello or what other areas might be a great fit for your living in Charlottesville. So there you have it, Lake Monticello 2025. Still a gorgeous, welcoming, slower paced place to live. Not perfect, no place is. Do not let anybody try to sell you on that. If that's what they're trying to sell you and you're the one paying the bill, run fast and run far. But this place is definitely special. Oh, and don't forget, if you're considering a move to this area or even just exploring the idea, I've got my amazing new free resource for you. I want you to just scan, click, and grab your Charlottesville relocation guide. You can download it at any time. So even if you're death scrolling at 3 a.m, it's completely no strings attached. I made it for people just like you who are trying to figure out what makes sense for the next move. I'm Pam. This is Living in Charlottesville or Lake Monticello. I would love if you got anything out of this video to hit that like button. And if this has helped you at all, I just love to know that people are getting or seeing what they need to help them make the decisions that's best for their family. I'll see you in the next video. I want to thank you for your time, and I want you to have an amazing day. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna just slip on my bathing suit and blend into the crowd or what, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I do have clients I need to meet at the office in just a short while. So for now, have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon.